misunderstanding of, I won't bore you with the details, which I've researched on it, is identifying that Chautauqua County is the highest taxed property tax in the state, the nation, and whatnot.
Which has been widely bannered in the newspapers and on television.
This is true.
Because they do it on a per capita basis, which is,
well,
but then, you know, figures figure, liars figure, and figures lie, but it depends on who you talk to as to how much it is.
That is true. What happened in that particular research that was done is that the institution that made those calculations had a cutoff of county population of 125,000 and above. So there were no references made to any counties of lesser populations. As an example, Allegheny County, as we are speaking, has a county tax rate almost 100% higher than Chautauqua County. Cattaraugus County has a county property tax about 50% higher than Chautauqua County. And if the calculations are made across all counties of New York State, there'll be a discovery that Chautauqua County is not the highest taxed county.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Doug. I was scared to death, especially since my taxes are insane. Tell me, what are we going to do to make up this huge tax increase? You know, Doug, the county exec said that this was a phony budget last year. You're putting a lot of the costs of it into this year. So now we have a lot of last year's costs and this year's costs in the same budget.
Well, as you probably know, I have formally retired as a county legislator.
I don't blame you.
I hate to speak on the quandary that is in front of the county legislators at this moment. I must acknowledge that I was in the trenches last year when this budget was passed. I was extremely uncomfortable with it. I felt that it was going to devastate us this year. I think you're right. I believe that it will, and the reason that the budget was passed in the 12th hour as it was is because of the state's mandate of a 2% tax cap. It's almost financially impossible for counties to survive with that 2% tax cap.
Well, fortunately, as you know, Doug, all they have to do is get together and say, hey, we don't want it.
Yeah, there's a lot of maneuverings that can be done to manipulate. But when you look at the politics of the issue, we have a very unfortunate situation.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't know how they're going to make it up, especially after, quote, losing $10 million, which they suddenly found. How the legislature
they didn't really
loses $10 million.
That wasn't really lost.
Yeah, that's what they say.
And again, that is a misunderstanding.
Right, a misunderstanding.
What occurs, in my experience on that, we've always used experience guesstimates of what the reimbursement will be back to the county on the Medicaid side of things.
Right.
And that's where that $10 million is
I heard. Okay, Doug, we got to call it off here. We got two more callers waiting, but I want to give you just a few more seconds to close up.
Oh, that's it. I just thought it might be interesting to your viewers.
I wish you'd call in more often because you are an experienced non-combatant now from the legislature, and when we have Crosscut coming on in a couple of weeks, he's in there. He's got to watch his back, you know.
He's in the trenches.
He's in the trenches.
And he's doing a very fine job.
And we had Lori on last week, if you may have noticed.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Doug, and God bless you.
Well, you are very welcome, and continue your fine work.
Well, you continue yours, too, and call in regularly. Tune us in here a little bit. Tune us up.
Very good.
Thank you. Doug Richmond, he's a past legislator. He handled the Westfield area, and he was fantastic.
And bye now.
Okay, bye-bye. Another caller. Good morning. You're not going to have any more time at all. Hello, caller.
Good morning. I have a real quick question.
Quick question of my two guests. Okay.
Okay. The county home, there's been a lot of talk about what to do, close it, keep it, expand it, not expand it, et cetera, et cetera. Do you have an opinion on that? And if so, what is it?
you know, it's hard to say.
They don't want to say, they won't talk about it.
I
They're
don't
scared
know.
to death.
I'm not scared to death. But there's a need for, I hate to see those people that live there now have to move, because when you're elderly, it's really hard to move people. It's hard for them to stay where they are, you know what I mean, mentally as well as physically. It's just a hard move. If they really have to change something and they have to do away with that as the nursing home, the county home, then I'd like to see it go for low-income housing for seniors, income that's, housing that's based on their income that people can afford, because I think there's a big need for that. I don't think there's enough
There isn't.
housing for seniors.
Okay, and caller, I will point out something that it doesn't really cost that much money. They've got all kinds of funny figures, but nobody really comes out with solid evidence. For instance, yes, it cost $1.3 million this year, but they got twice that back that came into our county for jobs and for care for seniors who are indigent. And one of the differences between this hospital, this county home, and any of the other health care organizations to which they're trying to sell it is that they have very limited beds for people on Medicaid, meaning people who are indigent and can't pay. The county home can take in a lot of people. It takes 80% of their people in the county home, of the patients there, are seniors, and they are indigent seniors. No money, nowhere to go. You know, they used to have in England the death houses where they put seniors who were indigent and very sick. They put them there and let them die. It looks like that's what we're going to have here if this doesn't change. This is for the senior citizens. It's been there always. These seniors built this county. They built everything here. And to throw them out and say, oh, we'll take care of the ones that are still there. Yeah, that's good. How about the next ones coming in that need help?
That's right.
Go ahead. Now, that's my opinion. Is that pretty good?
I agree with you.
That's
Because I think what happens is people get older, they've worked all their lives, and we owe it to them to take care of them.
Absolutely.
Whether they can afford to pay or not, we owe it to them. They've contributed to society all their lives, and now they're faced with not being able to go to a nursing home because they don't have the money to get the help they need. Even people that are home now that can't afford someone to come in, some nursing help to help them. You know, I think we owe it to them to help the seniors.
Absolutely.
Well, I agree, but I'm on one side of the stream, and I happen to know there's another side that says you should have thought about that when you were younger. You should have saved. You should have done this. You should have done that.
But
especially in this day and age when you can't even survive on the money you have coming in.
Well, the problem is, even if you did save back then, inflation has not kept up with the amount of money that it costs. I mean, inflation has made what
has wiped it out.
I've done years ago absolutely ludicrous nowadays.
Look at your Social Security checks.
Absolutely.
That hasn't kept up with the cost of living.
Not at all.
Oh, well, no, we get a COLA, didn't you know?
Oh, right.
They give you a little raise, but go to the grocery store.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of seniors just can't afford it. They're really being hit hard.
I think the COLA includes things like yachts and things like that, jet planes and stuff that no normal people could afford, because I know it's not keeping up with the normal bills that a normal person has.
They've done studies of 10 years ago, you're getting 47 cents now when you got $1 worth 10 years ago.
I was at a meeting a couple months ago, and I won't say who it was, but somebody from the county said, well, I think that, you know, the people that are on Social Security should have that, but they should start a savings plan so that you have a choice. You don't have to pay into Social Security. You can elect to put it in your savings and handle your own money. Well, that's fine and dandy. Handle your own money. But what happens if you can't work and all of a sudden your money is gone and now you're a senior citizen? You haven't paid into Social Security. Are you going to be there wanting a handout?
Yeah.
And they said, oh no, but you know, they will. And that's the problem. You have to pay into Social Security to get it, but at the same time, Social Security doesn't give you enough. You've paid it all your life. You don't have enough. It's not enough to live on.
They promised us a COLA to keep us up with the inflation, which the government has created, I might add.
Right.
It's stealing your money. They are not giving us a fair COLA. They have their phony federal figures, the core inflation.
And now I heard about something, but I don't know how true it is, so I'm skeptical to bring it up. But I heard that after the presidential election, there's this thing they're going to try to pass where that all Social Security checks have to go directly into the bank, where some of them don't now, And then the bank will take 1% of it. For every transaction you do, they'll get 1%. So you put, your check goes in, they get 1% for handling fees. You write a check, they get 1% again.
Gee, I wonder who benefits from that.
Well, it doesn't benefit you
I know it
any.
isn't me.
Doesn't benefit any of us.
The rich and
like I
powerful.
said, I haven't looked into that all the way. That's something that I'm in the process of looking into and finding out.
I can't believe that they would do that, Teresa. The rich and powerful, though, they have a lot of power.
You're dreaming, Mr. Powers. You're dreaming, Mr. Powers.
Right.
I find it hard to believe, too, but I think I need to talk to Catherine Young about that and find out.
Is that a state law that they're going to do, or is it federal law?
Federal. It was my understanding it was going to be
talk to-
federal, so.
To Mr. Reed coming up, I guess,
So,
right now.
It would be something to look into.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, caller, and send me a self-addressed envelope. I'll send you $5 off.
All
At
right.
the Lakeview, which is a fabulous
That's
little
a good place.
restaurant here.
Absolutely. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, people are concerned about these things.
No, but they should be.
Yeah, and the closing of the hospital, as I said, that to me is a tragedy. It's not just, you know, it's a total remission of responsibility. The government I don't know where they're spending all this money, the county government, but holy mackerel, Andy. All right, we're sitting here with Connie Whitman and Teresa Perrin, and they're the president and vice president of the United Senior Council, which meets regularly, monthly, is it?
Monthly?
In the county, in
That's-
different senior
yeah.
centers.
Yes.
And they do a lot of promoting for senior needs. They advocate strongly, and they have a chance to get together with the leaders, all the leaders in the senior area, plus anybody who wants to join as a senior may join
Right.
them for a
It
meeting.
costs, if I interrupt you, I would like to say that it costs $5 a year to join.
Membership
$5.
dues.
Okay, we work very closely with the Department of Aging. Our next meeting will be Thursday, June 14th at the Panama.
You work with Mary Ann?
Yes,
Yeah, Panama United Methodist Church
we are big
from 10 to 12
big supporters of Office for the Aging.
Now, where are you meeting next?
at the Panama United Methodist Church
That's
in
the one right
Panama,
on
New York.
When you're heading from Westfield down to Main Street in Panama, it's on the right before you hit it, before the school, as a matter of fact,
Right, yeah.
You know, that school was built on my great-grandfather's horse farm.
Really?
Was it?
Powerses
That's
were
interesting.
original settlers in the
And
turn of the century, 17 to 1800. Simeon Powers, my great-great-great-great-grandfather, settled there, and he was he founded that church. He
That's
was a
interesting.
preacher, Methodist preacher,
Preacher.
and he founded that church, believe it or not. How about that?
We'll have to make sure they know that when we go to the
Yes.
meeting.
Sure thing. Well, they got a big stone somewhere which has his name on it when they
Right.
built the church originally. But we're talking way, way back. Okay, that's been a wonderful program. I appreciate you coming in.
thank you.
Let me
Oh,
give
thanks, Tom.
you just 30 seconds to kind of close off. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, you want us to say something?
Yes.
Well,
Please.
Okay.
Yeah. you
United
can-
Senior Council, our interest is seniors doing whatever we can to make life better for seniors. If you have problems, we would direct you to the Office of the Aging, but also bring them to us, concerns, if there's anything we can look into for you. We would be happy to have a speaker come in, join us for a meeting sometime. We'd love to have you. We're about business, helping seniors, but we're also about socialization, providing a time to get together and have some fun also.
Phone number, if they wanted to call you.
You could call Connie at 763-0544, or you could call me at 665-2414.
There you go.
Yes.
Well, thank you for
And
giving
thank
up your
you.
Saturday morning
Thank
to
you.
give us a little shot at what's going on, and you certainly did it with enthusiasm.
I hope so.
I want to thank some special people. Sorry, caller, the last caller, you're out of luck, but maybe you come back sometime. There's
Okay.
a chance to talk to you. Chuck Kelsey, Devin Taylor, Chris Burt, Randy Burt, Chris Ramaker, Jeff Zook, Don Zenz, and John Hamels. Our hats off and great thanks to you for making this program possible and donating your time, your wonderful, tremendous skills, and your enthusiasm and energy. Get out there and have a beautiful day. Just don't forget Flag Day either. Get that flag going. May all that is proud and true and noble abide with you. I'm Reed Powers.